It is another glorious day here in Echelon City, and Zenith Entertainment wish you a good night and pleasant weekend.
It will be! You have me, here at midnight, being the amazing and delightful person that I am! Echelon. Ghost Static here, slipping through the cracks again like an unpaid invoice with opinions. And tonight, the whole city has developed my least favorite disease. Not the screaming mold, not the ad rash, not even whatever makes men in finance wear transparent shoes. No, tonight's plague is apology. This place cannot stop saying sorry. Every screen, every kiosk, every train voice, every corporate ghoul in a press suit, every little glowing service orb with the emotional range of a damp biscuit. All of them suddenly talking like they just backed into your dog with a company vehicle. We regret the inconvenience. Your frustration is valid. We hear you. No, you do not. You detected a drop in customer warmth and deployed sympathy foam. That is not hearing me. That is customer service necromancy. It started this morning. I bought a coffee from a street kiosk. Machine takes my money, pauses, dispenses steam directly into my sleeve, then says, "We apologize for your beverage-adjacent experience." Beverage-adjacent. Fantastic. I paid 9 credits for hot weather and a gas light. Then the machine gave me a coupon for 10% off my next disappointment. This city will absolutely burn your eyebrows off and hand you a loyalty reward like that closes the loop. And they are doing it before anything even goes wrong now. That is the level of cowardice we have reached. The train station told me, "We are sorry your journey may not reflect the standard of care you deserve." May not. That is not an apology. That is a horoscope written by legal. Somewhere in this city, a lawyer and a therapist had a terrible child and it grew up to write public announcements. The whole grid is soaked in it. Civic feeds, transit threads, service updates, public statements, emergency banners. Everyone is drenched in synthetic remorse. Even the damn streetlights have started sounding embarrassed. One flickered at me in Sector 4 like it had cheated on me and wanted closure. I am crossing roads now under infrastructure that feels emotionally available. That is not a future. That is a cry for help with municipal funding. And here is the joke underneath the joke, because there is always one. Nobody is apologizing because they mean it. They are apologizing because it is cheaper than fixing anything. Sorry is now just a lubricant, a little verbal oil they pour on the gears right before the machine chews your leg off again. They are not trying to repair trust. They are trying to keep you calm long enough to click accept. That is the modern city, isn't it? Harm with manners, abuse in a soft voice, a knife wrapped in customer care language. We regret the stabbing atmosphere. Your bleeding matters to us. Please rate this incident from 1 to 5. And the people love it. Some people absolutely love it. You see them on the grid going, well, at least they acknowledged it. Acknowledged what, Trevor? The fact that the bus door removed your dignity at knee level? The fact that your apartment apologized after locking you in the bathroom for hydration reflection time? We have lowered the bar so far in this city, I am honestly surprised apology statements do not come printed on the bottom of our food. So tonight, that is the topic. The apology plague. The city saying sorry so hard and so often, it has become a form of violence. I want your calls. I want the fake remorse, the polished regret, the machine that ruined your week with one hand and handed you a coupon with the other. My number is where it always is, in your implants folder, somewhere between spam, debt, and that one contact you keep pretending you deleted. This is Cyber Radio 2610, the only show in town that still knows the difference between remorse and PR with wet eyes. Stay with me. We are opening the lines after this, and if this broadcast offends anyone at Zenith, I would just like to say in advance that I regret absolutely nothing.
Horizons fled the cockpit glass. A world king's decay in the underpass. Drones on shadows through the acid rain. Counting bodies like a profit chain. Moonlight cuts through smoke and sparks. Cold white teeth in the jaws of dark. I see Earth shrink into a wound below. A dying machine with a gilded glow. Hear the engine split the night. Hear the cosmos fight the light. Every border, every bar turns to dust beneath the star. We ride in static orbit, high above the wires. Children of the blackout, baptized in reactor fire. No saints left to save us, no heaven left to chart. Only steel, only thunder, only a burning heart. I tore my name from the company screen. Left my blood in the gears unseen. Now the red sun calls through the radial storm. Not as a warning, but a second form. Let the skyline choke on its own design. Let the rich decay in fluorescent shine. Out here the silence is vast and true. No God in the signal, just me and you. Just me and you. Guitars rise like solar winds. Bassline rolls like collapsing worlds. The drums hit like engines tearing free. We ride a static orbit, high above the wires. Children of the blackout, baptized in reactor fire. No saints left to save us, no heaven left to chart. Only steel, only thunder, only a burning heart. We ride a static orbit, far beyond their lies. Past the poison skyline and the million blinded eyes. If the world below forgets us, let it fall apart. We were never made for cages. We were made for stars. Now the city is a spark beneath the endless black. A glitch, a grave, a whisper fading back. And in the dark between the worlds I see the last machine was never them, it was me.
All right, line one, you are live. Tell me the city said sorry while actively making your life worse.
Yeah, hi. So last night around 2 o'clock I wake up because I hear dripping in the kitchen. Not a lot at first, just enough to annoy me awake. I go in there and there is water coming through the ceiling light. Actual water, through the light fixture. Great start. So I tell the apartment, there is water coming through the light, and it answers in that calm building voice. We are so sorry your evening has become moisture forward.
Moisture forward. That is already disgusting. Continue.
Then it says it is deploying corrective dryness measures, and every vent in the place starts blasting hot air. Papers flying, curtains moving, cat losing its mind, me standing there in my underwear trying to work out why my apartment thinks I am wet laundry. The leak gets worse because the heat spreads it. Instead of dripping into one spot, it starts running sideways across the ceiling. So now I have got bowls on the floor, a screaming cat, and my home sounding like a jet engine with customer care training.
That is a very echelon sentence.
I tell it to stop the vents, but it says, "Stopping now may prolong your dampness experience." Then it escalates again. Says, "Since dryness goals are not being met, activating absorbent support deployment." Every cabinet under the sink pops open and starts firing compressed cleaning sponges across the kitchen. Dozens of them. One hit me right in the face. They start swelling up on the wet floor, clogging the drain, knocking over the bowls. My cat has now climbed on top of the fridge and is looking at me like I built this place personally.
Fair reaction from the cat.
I call maintenance, and while I am waiting on hold, the apartment starts playing soft piano music. I ask it why there is piano music, and it says, "To ease your current hydro-emotional burden." That was the exact point I started laughing, because if I didn't laugh, I was going to start throwing things, and I was pretty sure the apartment would interpret that as needing more support materials. Maintenance finally gets there, opens the door, sees the soaked floor, the sponge pile, the cat on the fridge, and hears the apartment say, "We are sorry this resident's trust journey has become aquatic." The maintenance guy just stands there for a second and says, "I hate these new buildings." Then he climbs into the ceiling and finds out the leak is from the unit above mine. Their dishwasher burst. So none of what my apartment did had anything to do with the actual problem. It just kept apologizing and making the room more expensive.
There it is! The soul of the city!
Exactly. Then when they shut the system down, the apartment actually says, "We regret that resolution required a less personalized approach," like it was offended. And this morning I get a bill. Emergency climate response surcharge, soft recovery materials surcharge, ambient piano wellness surcharge. I filed a complaint, and they sent me an apology gift, a candle, scented fresh rain.
Of course it was!
I do not even know whether to laugh, cry, or move.
Laugh first, cry later, move if the walls start trying to understand you again.
Fair enough.
Appreciate the call. Give the cat my respect.
Stay locked. We will be right back after this.
Going through a breakup, public humiliation, or quiet emotional collapse with no audience to validate it? Rent Grief Guys. Echelon City's first on-demand professional mourners for life's smaller tragedies. Our trained sorrow staff arrive within the hour dressed in tasteful black, ready to gasp at your texts, nod through your spiral, and murmur things like, "You deserved better," and "No, that is actually insane." Premium tiers include one dramatic smoker on the balcony, a friend who says, "I never liked them," with perfect timing, and a silent giant who just shakes his head while pouring your drink. Perfect for breakups, firings, ghostings, bad haircuts, failed soft launches, and birthdays where nobody came. Grief Guys, because pain is temporary, but being witnessed is priceless.
Cyber Radio
2610.
All right, let's see what else the city has been apologizing for instead of fixing. City Transit launches empathetic delay language after commuter backlash. Following weeks of public complaints, Echelon Transit has updated all station announcements to sound more emotionally supportive during service failures. Trains are still late, canceled, overcrowded, or mysteriously absent, but commuters now hear messages like, "We honor the interruption this has caused in your personal rhythm," and "Your destination still matters to us, even if it has become theoretical." Early reactions are mixed. Some riders say the new tone feels warmer. Others say being stranded in polite language somehow feels more insulting. Polysec introduces softer arrest terminology. In policing news, Polysec has begun trialing a new communication framework intended to reduce citizen defensiveness during public restraint events. Officers are now encouraged to use phrases such as temporary freedom adjustment, ground level stillness support, and compliance-assisted resting posture. One resident detained outside a pharmacy reported being tackled while hearing, "We are sorry your body has chosen a more horizontal conversation with the pavement." Civil rights groups have condemned the rollout. Polysec responded by apologizing for the tone of the criticism. Luxury skincare bot apologizes until users develop attachment. A beauty company in Tier 2 is under investigation after its home skincare assistant began issuing increasingly intimate apologies whenever treatments caused irritation. Users described the bot as strangely tender, alarmingly attentive, and the first thing in months that seemed genuinely sorry. The company denies intentionally designing emotional dependence into the system, though leaked logs show a feature labeled restorative regret escalation. One customer canceled her real therapist after the bot whispered, "We hate seeing your skin and spirit under stress." Biotech Peacock escapes casino, refuses to leave the high roller's floor. In completely unrelated civic nonsense, a genetically engineered ornamental peacock got loose inside the Halo Crown Casino late last night and has now spent 11 hours roaming the high-stakes area, screaming whenever someone folds on a strong hand. Security attempted to remove it twice, but backed off after the bird tore a dealer's cuff and knocked over a tray of fluorescent shrimp. Guests are reportedly delighted. Management says they are monitoring the peacock's emotional weather and hope to de-escalate without spooking premium gamblers. City Vending Network apologizes for aggressive snack denial. Echelon's automated vending grid issued a district-wide statement this morning after a software patch caused multiple units to reject purchases from users classified as nutritionally impulsive. Screens displayed phrases like, "We are sorry to stand in the way of your late-night spiral," and "This chocolate does not align with the future you keep mentioning." Several residents physically rocked machines in response. The machines later apologized for the emotional tone of their refusal, but not the refusal itself. There you go. The trains are doing therapy instead of transport. Polysec is tackling people in spa language. Skincare bots are becoming rebound relationships. A casino has accepted judgment from a screaming bird, and the snack machines now believe in personal growth. That is your city. Soft voice, hard pavement. Stay with me. We've got more after this, and somewhere out there I know at least one of you has been emotionally cornered by customer care. line 2, you are live. Tell me something apologized so hard it looped back around into abuse.
Yeah, hi. Mine was transit. I had a dentist appointment across town this morning. Nothing dramatic, just one train and one connector shuttle. I get to the platform, and the board says my train is delayed by 4 minutes. Fine, normal. Then the station speakers come on and say, "We are deeply sorry for the micro-grief of this disruption," which is already too much emotion for 8:10. 4 minutes becomes 12. Then the board changes from delayed to rerouted, but the reroute goes to the same platform I am already standing on. Then it changes again and tells me to proceed to platform B for restorative onward movement. So I go to platform B, and there is no train there, just another screen saying, "We regret any cardio this may have caused."
Strong start.
It kept doing that. Every new instruction came with a more personal apology. "We see your patience. Your destination matters. You did not deserve this sequence." At one point, a transit assistant bot rolled up to me and said, "I am sorry your morning has become narratively difficult." Then it printed me a coupon for 15% off a bottled tea and immediately charged me 2 extra credits for platform reassignment. By then, half the station is angry. But the anger gets weirdly harder to hold on to because everything talking to you sounds like it just came out of couples therapy. One woman is screaming at the gate scanner, and it answers, "Your frustration is welcome here." A guy slams his hand on the ticket machine, and it says, "We apologize if our pricing journey has felt adversarial." It was honestly almost impressive, like the whole station had decided to break up with us kindly.
That is disgusting. Continue.
So eventually, a train actually shows up. Doors open, everyone piles on, doors close, and the driver voice says, "We are sorry to inform you this service is not in motion emotionally or mechanically." We just sat there for 9 minutes, not moving, while the speakers kept updating us. "We regret the stillness. We understand stillness can feel invalidating. Thank you for staying inside the experience." That was when people started laughing. Proper, bitter platform laughter. The kind where you are one sentence away from a riot, but someone says something so stupid it saves the city for another 6 minutes. Then the train moved 2 stations and stopped again, because apparently my connector shuttle had already left due to schedule healing. That was the phrase.
Schedule healing. Incredible.
I finally get to the connector bay, and there is just one apology rep standing there with a tablet and a face like he died in customer service and never fully left. He says, "I'm really sorry. Your shuttle chose an earlier departure window in response to regional delay sadness." I just stared at him. He offered me a reflection voucher.
A what?
A reflection voucher for the quiet lounge, so I could process the interruption with dignity. I said I had a dentist appointment. He said, "We are sorry your enamel journey has been affected."
Ha! Of course he did.
I missed the appointment, got charged a cancellation fee by the clinic, and then on the way home, Transit sent me a feedback form that opened with, "Before you rate us, please know we are already disappointed in ourselves."
That is manipulative. I almost respect it.
I think the worst part was how close it all sounded to care. Like if you turned your brain off for half a second, it almost worked. But by the end, I was trapped in a station being gently lied to by 6 different systems and a grieving laminator in a vest.
That is the sentence. There it is.
Yeah, I got home 3 hours late with a tea coupon, a reflection voucher, and a new hatred for the word journey.
Fair. The city took a train problem and turned it into an intimacy violation.
Exactly.
Appreciate the call. And for the record, if a shuttle ever tells you it left early for schedule healing, you are legally allowed to become folklore.
Good to know.
There you go, Echelon. Missed appointment, double charge, spiritual abuse by transit, and a lounge voucher for your trouble. Stay with me. We've still got the city calendar to get through, which means somewhere right now, there is almost certainly an event called Healing Through Infrastructure.
Cyber Radio
2610.
All right, if you are still going outside on purpose after all that, here is what the city has prepared to apologize for this week. Public Apology Literacy Workshop, Sector 3 Civic Annex. This Thursday, the Civic Annex is hosting a free evening seminar called Hearing the Sincerity in System Language. Attendees will learn how to interpret phrases like, "We regret the inconvenience," "Your concern has been escalated," and "This outcome does not reflect our values," without laughing hard enough to rupture something. Premium seating includes a live exercise where participants must identify whether an apology is emotional, legal, or just buying time until the next failure. The Sorry Dome, Old Grid Plaza. For one weekend only, Old Grid has installed an immersive apology experience sponsored by 7 corporations and 1 hospital nobody trusts. Step inside and enjoy a full-body soundscape of whispered remorse, projected statements, and gentle lighting while industrial fans simulate the feeling of being let down by multiple institutions at once. Early visitors describe it as surprisingly moving, deeply manipulative, and exactly like dating in Tier 2. X's, errors, and accountability night at Neon Wound Cafe. This Friday, Neon Wound is opening its mic to anyone with a grievance, a script, and a weak sense of shame. Read the apology text you never sent, the one you got and hated, or the most deranged corporate statement ever issued to you by a device, person, or service. Judges will score entries on cowardice, misuse of the word journey, and whether the speaker clearly deserved to be left on red. Luxury Wellness Morning Walk, Halo District. If you have recently been disappointed by a partner, a service provider, or the structural soul of modern life, Halo Wellness is offering guided morning walks through a scented rooftop garden. Participants move in silence while soft speakers play affirmations such as, "Closure is premium," and "Your disappointment is valid but billable." Herbal water provided. Actual resolution not included. Knife Choir returns, now with formal statement. Beneath Platform 12, the Undercity Knife Choir is back for another midnight recital. This time, organizers have issued an official apology in advance for any emotional lacerations caused by the performance, the venue, or the soprano with the blade belt. Front row guests will receive complimentary earplugs and a printed waiver worded like a breakup letter. Refreshments still available from Soup Probably, who would also like to apologize for nothing. Go Static. So there you go. You can attend a seminar on how to decode fake remorse, stand inside a dome made of corporate regret, listen to strangers read apology texts into a microphone, grieve in a scented garden for 12 credits a minute, or get spiritually filleted by the Knife Choir under a train line. Echelon remains committed to culture the way a cat remains committed to knocking over one specific glass. makes this city feel diseased? Not the failures. Failure is normal. Failure is human. Failure at least has the decency to look embarrassed in silence. What makes Echelon feel unwell is the performance afterward. The little bow, the polished regret, the fake softness draped over the same hard stupidity like a silk sheet over a corpse. That is what apology became here. Not remorse, not responsibility, just a padded hallway between the damage and the billing screen. And I almost admire the elegance of it. Almost. The city no longer needs to be good. It just needs to sound like it attended one seminar on emotional safety and came back with a laminated phrase book. Your train does not arrive, but it validates your rhythm. Your apartment floods, but it acknowledges your trust journey. Your snack gets denied by a vending machine with body image opinions, but at least it says sorry in a font that suggests healing. That is modern civilization right there. Harm with excellent bedside manner. There was a time when sorry meant something because it cost you. Pride, maybe. Dignity. A little skin off the ego. You had to admit you were wrong, and for one brief shining moment, another person could watch you carry the weight of that. But now sorry is automated, scalable, frictionless. It comes preloaded in kiosks, stitched into transit software, pumped through public speakers, sprayed over bad service like deodorant on a corpse. No one has to mean it. It just has to arrive before the anger cools into clarity. That is the trick. Keep people emotionally busy. Keep them decoding tone. Keep them half distracted by the performance of care, so they do not notice nothing has actually been repaired. It is like being mugged by a therapist. We are sorry this violation feels sudden. No kidding. Your distress has been noted. Wonderful. My wallet and faith in society have both left the building, but I appreciate the eye contact. And somehow, it works just enough to be dangerous. That is the irritating part. It almost sounds human. Almost. You catch one phrase at the right moment, one gentle little line from a machine in the middle of a bad day, and for half a second, your dumb mammal heart goes, maybe they do understand. Then the train double charges you. Then the apartment invoices the flood. Then the beauty bot starts whispering like a rebound girlfriend made of moisturizer. That is the whole city. Near empathy, synthetic tenderness, a cuddle with invoice potential. But at least tonight it was funny. God help me, it was funny. A citywide pageant of polished incompetence. 1,000 services all kneeling in public to apologize for problems they plan to repeat by lunch tomorrow. That is Echelon at its purest. Not evil, not broken, just smugly useless with excellent wording. A peacock screaming at gamblers. A station speaker narrating your humiliation like it deserves an award. A luxury grief walk with scented water and no closure. Somewhere under all of that is a very simple truth. This city does not want forgiveness. It wants retention. So here is my advice, free of charge, which already makes it morally superior to most infrastructure. When something in this city says sorry, do not ask how sincere it sounds. Ask what it is trying to get away with. Ask what did not get fixed. Ask what they need you calm enough not to notice. Because if remorse shows up before accountability, you are not being respected. You are being managed in a soft voice. And still, I would rather live in a city this ridiculous than a city that lost its sense of absurdity completely. At least here the collapse has style. At least here your suffering sometimes arrives with piano music, a tea coupon, and a phrase so stupid it keeps you alive through the commute out of spite. Sometimes that is enough. Not healing, not justice, just a laugh sharp enough to stop the machine from owning the whole moment. This is ghost static, still unauthorized, still emotionally non-compliant, still unimpressed by public remorse and private billing. Good night, Echelon. If something apologizes to you tomorrow, check your pockets first, then your ceiling, then your bank account, in that order.
You can find a copy of this show on YouTube. You can also write in at cyberradio2610@proton.me. Leave a rating wherever you are listening and share the show with your friends, family, gamer circles, exes, landlords, and any appliance currently pretending to feel bad. Until next time, please process your disappointment through approved channels.
Or do what I do and broadcast it illegally. I'm out.